might be a little late to this, so let's talk, I guess. So I grew up with them. You grew up with them. Your cousin grew up with them. Heck, the newer generations are starting to now. Yep, talking about my boy Fred. Wait. In all honesty, I'm talking about Gumball. According to sources, as of recording this, they're and the actual producer at the time, I forget her name. We'll put her picture of her in her name inside the video, but she used to be a production manager with it, but she announced recently that she would actually be directing a new season for the show. Yeah, an actual show, not a clip show, not a little mini series that has clips and sometimes actual new stuff, but an actual show with Gumball and his friends back in the boot. And as I did too, I'm sure you all have a few questions, like when is it arriving, who's going to be in it, will they finally acknowledge the surprise plot twist ending for once and not just push it on like it never happened. Honestly, what was the point of doing that? It literally had no point. When I actually wrote the script, we knew like pretty much there was nothing about the whole thing besides it was just gonna happen, with like the only thing being that we knew it was being made and it had voices, but it may have the newer voices instead of the ones that we actually know, which again I can't remember any of their names, but I'll put up their name. You probably also know him as from his YouTube, I think it was Junkie. He apparently moved back to his hometown and stepped down from the role. New guy, I think his name is David, got it, and all this and that. Actually, he voiced him in Chronicles. Actually, it wasn't that bad. Either way, a little tidbit about that actually. The whole cast from Gumball was in there. The original cast, except for him. Which kind of isn't new. I mean, Gumball and Darwin both had like 2 or 3 actors. But back to the news and whatnot. It's not really known if it's going to be a Hulu original or Netflix original, or if it was going to air on the channel, because the new president of Cartoon Network, as of then, actually he still is. He currently changing a lot of stuff. He is taking all the bad shows and just taking them off air, and he's getting new ones in their place, such as this new season, the new show Villainous, which you've probably seen in the news because of Markiplier being in it, and a rebirth of the original segment called Cartoons, which, if you don't know it, it was a section like What a Cartoon that would also have it would have cuts and stuff in there of new shows and whatnot. A lot of the shows that everyone knew came from it. A lot of the popular shows actually got introduced from it, like He'll Name Kids Next Door and Courage. And let me just give a little bit of personal preferences and theories of it. Honestly, it took me about a week or two to actually believe it was real. Because, like, you know, we've all seen those videos. It was like, oh my god, he's returning. And all that. All clickbait and headlines and all that. But I didn't believe it at first because, well, like half my generation, I grew up watching it for half my life. And actually recently I've been rewatching all of it, and that was even before it got announced. But it was unbelievable. Like, just words to put it. There's not really a sentence without me just going full on Charlie with this. Personally, the cast that we do know and how she used to be with directing and all this and that, I honestly think the show is in good hands, and that if the original guy trusted her enough to make, I think it was 10 episodes for a whole season and a few for other ones, I'm pretty sure we got a good director now. And personally, I feel like with the new president and all that, it's going to be the golden age of Gumball again, and Cartoon Network as a whole because of it. As so long as they don't have something to do with the writing. Say Cartoon Network comes in and says, I don't like this, we're going to do it our way. That would be a no-go. To be really honest, I'm just happy the goofball's back and that it's actually going to be made. What we all probably want to know too, and honestly they could have just done, is if they were going to do another show, like a sequel. Because they could have done like what regular shows did with Quintel and whatnot, where he made that spin-off. That would be kind of like it, but not fully. Like, it wouldn't be as mature, but it could have cameos of the characters, talking about the story and after story of it, following a character that was part of the actual story. Have it on like Adult Swim or something. Have it aimed towards teens, and then it could follow them as, well, teenagers. Well, all except for Anais, I guess. But it's just the idea of older Gumball. It would just make it where everyone that grew up with him could still laugh at him and still grow with the stuff. And by teen level stuff, I meant like a little bit of words Dragon Ball might say. Really PG stuff, but things that you wouldn't really hear until you hit like the PG-13 movies kind of thing. Then again, knowing CN, they probably wouldn't let that happen. A lot of stuff's been going on down there too, and no one really knows what happened with the movie, because when they merged, it killed a lot of shows and whatnot. And personally, I'm hoping that Warner Brothers and DC hops on to the train and brings back the original Teen Titans, because we all know that ending, it wasn't very good. As for the movie for Gumball, it's not exactly stated, but we believe that it may be cancelled in return for this in turn for the new season. Because we all know that the thing's been cancelled and redone and all this and that. And with that merge, Warner Brothers killed it. Told the guy he would have to put it on hold. As to whether or not the show is going to continue, we do not know. But from what we know of, this is all we know. I will leave a link to a person that he's better at this stuff than me, and like explaining it, talking, and generally actually looking for the stuff. I mean, that's his job, and I do other stuff, but he probably can explain the newer stuff that I don't know. And this new series is going to be really hard to record.